Hi, my name is Sam Lupke, and this is the fourth video for the Global Learning Project. For this interaction, my partner was supposed to host me and show me a little bit about his culture. He planned to take me out for dinner somewhere that we could get Brazilian food, but after looking around, he couldn't find anywhere that sold anything Brazilian. There were no restaurants or stores anywhere nearby. So instead, we just went to the Union and we ate. But he told me when we were looking at the options at the Union for late night, he told me what would normally be found and what wouldn't normally be found in Brazil. And he told me that almost every meal includes either rice or beans. Kind of how here in America we have the saying, it's not a meal unless, you have steak and potatoes. So that's kind of their steak and potatoes. So we ate tacos, which then included both rice and beans, although tacos are not known to be Brazilian. Then after that, we went back to the dorms, and he showed me a little bit of Brazilian music, which I, as a musician, I very much appreciated, and it really, it's a little more lively than what we normally would know as Western music, and it's a little more rhythmic and a little less melodic than our American ears are used to, which was very refreshing to listen to. And he also talked about the four main types of music that are generally listened to in Brazil. Although I cannot pronounce the names of the genres, they each almost equated to our, country, pop, rock and roll, and then there's an extra kind of music in Brazil that comes straight from their native culture, culture that dates back tens of thousands of years. And there's music styles that have progressed through the years and stayed constant all the way. So it's almost original, handed down from generation to generation. And that's something that I thought was quite interesting, since we don't have that here in America. With America only being 200 and some years old, we don't quite have the musical history in American culture. We don't have that history. There, of course, is Native American traditions that go back farther. He also talked about their government, and that they have the same as we do here in America. It's a democracy with a president and generally the same government under the president. There's a few things that are different, but not very different. But the biggest difference is how they vote. As here in America, any citizen is able to vote as long as you're over a certain age. You can vote, and then they count the votes, but the votes aren't directly what elect a president. It goes through the Electoral College. In Brazil, they don't have that. It is just they count all of the votes of the citizens, and the citizens directly choose their president, which is something that I thought was very good, and I kind of liked it versus what we have here in America. Here's a few pictures of us on our interaction. There we are. Sorry, there's glare. There we are at the Union, eating. Back at his dorm, I think we were talking about government at that point, and then here he was showing me the music of Brazil. Another huge thing in Brazil's culture is what they call carnival. And carnival is a nationwide celebration. For almost 2 weeks, they do it. And it's kind of like what they do in Louisiana here with Mardi Gras. It's kind of the same idea. It's like a 2-week party of music and food and drinks in the streets. People come from all over South America and all over the world. The biggest carnival that is held is in Rio. I think the one that we're all very familiar with large floats and parades, and each group, which they call a school, But each group that goes along with the float, everybody is in costume, and there's hundreds of people in each of these what are known as schools, and there's hundreds of schools that come through, and they're all judged based off of their music, their performance, dancing, and their costumes. And the costumes are very intricate. And he showed me pictures of costumes, and it's amazing how much time the people put into that, and how detailed they are with all of that. Besides that, the main competition of the schools in Rio, every little town in Brazil has their own smaller version of that.